This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
The idea that we're not going to have extreme weather is wrong. We are going to have extreme weather. And that extreme weather a lot of times will cause flooding, and so we have to be prepared as a state and a country around that.
So it's a combination of computer science, math and statistics, and art and design. And we believe that the intersection of those different disciplines are going to be critical to the future of the Minnesota economy.
When we first started, people would say, when I tell people I was a storyteller, they'd say, oh, you read to children. And now most people understand that it is an oral art.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye-opener. I'm Dua Stark.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Friday, July 21st, 2023. Happy Friday and happy Barbenheimer.
There we go. That explains why I'm wearing this black hat
And
this
it
morning.
explains why I'm wearing pink. We kind of roped the morning crew into participating in this shenanigan. Everyone behind the scenes is also either wearing all black or wearing some form of pink.
We are excited. I actually, now I've seen the reviews here for Barbie and Oppenheimer, and I'm just like, now I gotta see both of them now.
Yes, some people are doing double screenings. They're watching both movies. I don't know if I have the mental capacity
to do all of that.
All of that, because Oppenheimer is 3 hours long.
And they're decking out in their clothes too. They're wearing pink and black and stuff, so pretty cool stuff. All right, well, on that note,
definitely the perfect weather to see it.
I think so. I mean, it's going to be a little bit warm here today, but nothing too crazy. Nothing like what we're going to see here as we head into next week. So get ready for that. The heat is definitely on next week. We'll get to that a little bit later. Right now, though, heading out the door, mostly clear skies. Temperatures here so far this morning are into the 50s. Some spots like Sparta, of course, and Black River Falls, the typical cool spots out there, even east into Volkfield, into the 40s. But back for the rest of us into the Winona area, 57. Eau Claire, you're currently at 58. So overall, the sunshine is going to continue through much of the day, and we can really just say that this afternoon is looking mostly sunny. There is a slight chance of a shower or two, but I think for the most part, things stay dry today. Highs in those low 80s this afternoon with a light wind at around 5 to 10 miles an hour from the northwest, switching to the west-northwest later today. Allergy report showing pine and wheat is low, mold is high. Same again for tomorrow. There's lots of mold spores in the latest air sample, according to the Allergy Associates of La Crosse for that information. But I'll have a check on that full weather forecast in a few minutes. We're going to talk more about that heat here heading into next week. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. A consulting firm says La Crosse County is failing to improve diversity, equity, and inclusion. The consultant presented its audit to the full La Crosse County Board of Supervisors at a board meeting. The group finds that while the county has demonstrated a strong commitment to improving diversity, equity, and inclusion, it still has a long way to go. Per the report, La Crosse County lacks diverse representation in leadership, suffers from a lack of ongoing bias and inclusion training, and needs to strengthen its response to complaints of bullying, harassment, and microaggressions among county employees. The report adds that since the county has not established clear diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, its reputation is at risk. The monthly board meeting covered several other topics, including updates to county ordinances on short-term rental properties. Short-term rentals, like those from Airbnb, have become more popular in the area. This has caused an increase in complaints from community members. The chairperson of the La Crosse County Board said that the rise in complaints meant that it was time to rework the ordinance.
Rental situations like Airbnb has become so much more popular than it used to be. We've, of course, also had a lot more complaints from neighbors of properties like that, and it became pretty obvious that we had to do some refining of our ordinance, some tweaking of it.
Cruz also mentioned that up until now, the ordinances on short-term rentals weren't very clear. Now that it's on the agenda, the board can address specific issues and fine-tune the rules.
We're limiting how long people can stay in an Airbnb. We're limiting who can do that, which properties qualify to do that. So we've just tightened it up a little bit.
Cruz also added that this ordinance does have the potential to affect the city's current proposal on STR fees and application down the line, but such items were not a part of the current ordinance. A man accused of making terroristic threats appeared in court. 19-year-old Hunter Gunlack is accused of yelling threats at kids while driving past Blessed Sacrament Elementary School. 2 other teenagers were similarly charged. Gunlack pleaded not guilty back in March. His attorney David Pierce requested a 2-day jury trial. The dates for the trial have not yet been announced. And good news on the search for a missing person in Winona County. The sheriff's office says 59-year-old Bruce Wizza has been found safe as of yesterday morning. Wizza had been missing since Monday. Wisconsin's governor was in Monroe County promoting state money geared towards flood control efforts. Tony Evers visited Brickman's Landing in Sparta to promote the $4 million in the state budget that will help communities lessen the potential of flood damage. Some western Wisconsin communities saw record floodwaters this spring. The governor says while federal organizations like FEMA can sometimes provide help to communities hit by floods, it's a better strategy for the state and local level to have resources in place to deal with damages.
The idea that we're not going to have extreme weather is wrong. We are going to have extreme weather, and that extreme weather a lot of times will cause flooding, and so we have to be prepared as a state and a country around that.
Evers says it's another reminder of why the state budget devoted such a large increase to local government funding. He says local governments and stakeholders know best how to put resources towards their community needs. La Crosse's YWCA and Melanin Beauty Bar hosted an art show to raise money for back-to-school programs. Local artists displayed some of their creations to sell, and they donated pieces to be auctioned off for the YWCA's Get Fresh back-to-school readiness. There was food and drinks available for everyone to enjoy, while they got to check out a variety of local artists. Artists at the event said that it feels good to give back to the community through their art.
I really enjoy these community events, fundraising events, and being able to give back. So if I can do that through my artwork and helping out or bring awareness to different events and art happenings that are going on in the community, it's always something that I want to be a part of.
The YWCA of La Crosse is currently at 52 kids, and they'll be able to support them with school supplies, clothes, as well as other essentials required for the school year. They're also encouraging anyone that would like to donate to stop by the Breach Center in La Crosse. If you would like to know more about the upcoming YWCA events, we will have a link with more information on our website, news8000.com. Well, every year at the end of July, a group of flight enthusiasts head to Oshkosh for a get-together. But they're making a habit of stopping in La Crosse. A group of Beechcraft Bonanza pilots will be meeting at the La Crosse airport before making their way east to Oshkosh. One organizer says people from all over the country take part in the experience, and their takeoff plan this weekend is something special. 115 planes will take off 3 at a time every 15 seconds.
We have the coolest arrival into Oshkosh there is. So everybody wants to do it. It's a bucket list thing. I want to do Bonanzas to Oshkosh.
Bonanzas to Oshkosh started in 1990, but the group started taking off from La Crosse in 2021. Winona State University is seeing some more investments from the state. News 8 Now's Michael Germain was there and saw how the university was using the funds to help complete a new campus center.
A university that is able to attract and retain students is really important.
Winona State University will replace Gildemeister and Watkins Hall with their new Cecil project site.
These new facilities were going to be on our way.
The buildings were built in 1964, which limit equity and access for students.
So it's a combination of computer science, math and statistics, and art and design. And we believe that the intersection of those different disciplines are going to be critical to the future of the Minnesota economy.
This will be one of the first buildings in Minnesota that is energy net zero.
We're going to tear down one building and use the land that's under it as a geothermal collection point.
Above that will allow for more green space throughout their campus.
Or the building that'll go up instead will be clad with solar panels. So this building will generate all the energy that it needs.
According to campus officials, over 70% of Winona State students will utilize this building to complete their degrees.
The over $71 million project is scheduled to be completed by fall of 2027. The La Crosse Interstate Fair kicked off its 132nd year on Wednesday. Yesterday, there was a children's scavenger hunt, performances by Brad Weston, a kids tractor pull, and street drag races at the Speedway. The annual event, sponsored by the La Crosse Agricultural Society, is free to attend and park. The event runs through Sunday. For more information, we've got a link at news8000.com. The Pump House Regional Arts Center is keeping a 20-year tradition going. The La Crosse Storytelling Festival kicks off today. This year's theme is Tales of the Creepy and Scary for more adult audiences. Stories and puppet shows will be geared for kids tomorrow morning. Then later in the day, it's back to older content. Organizers say they made sure the art of storytelling stays modern and fresh each year.
When we first started, people would say, when I tell people I was a storyteller, they'd say, oh, you read to children. And now most people understand that it is an oral art.
Food, music, and raffles will also be available. We'll have a link with ticket and schedule information on our website, news8000.com. St. Patrick's Catholic Church is holding its 32nd annual rummage sale today and tomorrow. The sale begins at 7:30 a.m. There will be thousands of items for sale, including furniture, hardware, and toys. There will also be a quilt raffle, bake sale, and a food truck. All proceeds from the sale will go to the General Church Fund. For more information, you can go to St. Patrick's website. We'll post a link on our website, news8000.com. Well, still ahead on your morning news, the company Cupkin is recalling one of its children's cups due to a high amount of lead. And we'll explain how the new Barbie movie is inspiring a new interior design trend. That and more is coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Wine lovers and pickle lovers, get ready for this. The first ever pickle-flavored sparkling wine cocktail. Clausen Pickles has teamed up with Spritz Society to create a white wine cocktail with the pickle company's signature pickle flavor. This is the first time that Clausen has entered the beverage market in its 150-year history. The cocktail, officially named Spritz Society Pickle by Clausen, is available for sale exclusively online at spritzsociety.com. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Sure is a mostly clear start right now from our satellite and radar picture. Just a few passing clouds across the area right now, but other than that, conditions are looking fairly nice here this morning. We're going to continue what you see on the satellite and radar picture to just continue really throughout much of the day. So as you take a live look outside here from your window, we'll probably see most of that trend continue here for a little while longer. Slight chance of a shower possible, but other than that, it's looking nice. Temperatures currently into the 50s. We got 58 degrees currently in La Crosse. Temperatures in Eau Claire very much the same at 58 degrees, and Winona's currently at 57 degrees. Dog walking conditions looking clear this morning. Lots of sunshine here for the afternoon as well. Then we do turn mostly sunny as we head into the early part of your evening too. Zone forecast today showing that our high temperatures will be reaching the low 80s come this afternoon. We're looking at that high today of 82 in Bangor and 83 in Unalaska and La Crosse, 83 as well Berry Mills. Heading south into Soldiers Grove, you'll be 82 today, 81 in Lansing, and a high of 80 in Westby. We're looking at highs around 82 in Sparta, 81 for you in Trempealeau, and as we head into the Osseo area, you're looking at a high of 81. 82 Whitehall and Chippewa Valley, low 80s here with 83 degrees this afternoon in Eau Claire. I'll be back with another check on your full weather forecast in a few minutes, and we'll talk about the heat here as we head into next week.
In your consumer news this morning, hundreds of thousands of cups marketed for children have been recalled because they contain lead. 8 and 12-ounce Cupkin double-walled stainless steel children's cups were sold in pairs on Amazon and the company's website. Over the past 5 years, about 346,000 of them have been sold. The cups have been found to contain lead levels that exceed the federal government's limit. It is considered extremely toxic to children. Anyone who has one of the cups can request a refund on Cupkin's website. The Washington Commanders are getting new owners. All 32 NFL owners unanimously approved the team's sale to a group led by billionaire Josh Harris. Harris is the co-founder of Apollo Global Management and already co-owns 2 professional sports teams, the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers and the NHL's New Jersey Devils. According to the Wall Street Journal, the deal is worth about $6 billion. The Federal Reserve is building a new instant payment system to help people and companies receive their money faster. It's called the FedNow service. It's designed to make safe, real-time payments more widely available. The system eliminates waiting periods for payments to clear, allowing people or businesses to access paychecks or other payments instantly. It also operates 24/7, which would remove limitations like business hours and bank holidays. And America is going into a pink craze over the new Barbie movie that opens in theaters today. The film, based on Mattel's iconic Barbie doll, takes viewers into Barbie's world in Malibu, California, where everything's perfect. And now people across the country are trying to keep that feeling going by putting themselves into their own Barbie bubbles.
Hey Barbie, can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. The pinks, magentas, and teals that color Barbie's world are making their way into home decor from coast to coast.
The Barbiecore phenomenon, to me, is so emblematic of what's taking place today. People just feel so much more free to turn to color to express who they are.
Pantone chronicles color trends from home decor to fashion to cosmetics. Vice President Lori Pressman says Barbie's vivid color palette evokes more than just a feeling of nostalgia.
Is it about immersing ourselves in something that reeks of excitement and positivity, so you look around and you can't help but feel good?
And that's exactly why social media influencer Beverly Griffith says she painted her Nashville home several shades of pink. She's transformed her living space into her very own dollhouse, a place that brings her joy.
This is called Dream House Tourmalet. This is a very modern, sophisticated silhouette.
Furniture retailer Joybird jumped into the Barbie pool with its collection that centers around this hot bubblegum pink sofa.
We've always known hot pink was an extremely popular color, and we just see that being carried out through all different types of pop culture and now through interior design.
If you're not quite ready to go all in with such bold colors, there are other ways to experience Barbie's universe. Like at this World of Barbie experience in Santa Monica, California, or this Airbnb dream house in Malibu. As to whether the Barbiecore trend will stick around,
it's a distinctive design statement.
We'll have to wait and see. But for now, fans are just enjoying feeling pretty in pink.
Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast. Derek, are you feeling pretty in pink?
Well, no, because I'm not wearing pink. Unlike you do. I'm sure you're feeling pretty in pink.
I am.
I like that pink dress you got on. It looks nice.
Thank you.
Good.
You're feeling dark and Oppenheimer-y. I don't know what
with the hat on,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I just don't have it on right now. But coming up in our Buzz Report, you'll see me with the hat again. Let's talk about City Cam 8 right now. Things are looking off to a pretty quiet start. 58 degrees outside right now with sunshine. North-northwest winds are light at 3 miles an hour. Meanwhile, in Eau Claire, 58 degrees here with some sunshine. Southwest winds are light here as well at 3 miles an hour. As you head out the door this morning, we're currently into the 50s. Some spots like Black River Falls and Sparta, the typical cold spots out there, into the 40s. Back towards the west in Winona, you're currently checking in at 57 degrees. 61 degrees at 7 o'clock with sunshine, 79 and sunny by noon today. We could run into a couple of light scattered showers here and there in portions of the area. Those rain chances are looking very slim because otherwise we're just looking at a few clouds here today with our highs expected to reach into the low 80s come this afternoon. Right now things are off to a very quiet start here. As we mentioned, you can see just a few passing high-level clouds moving in across the region, but other than that, it's pretty dry, and in fact too dry. The Drought Monitor Index just came out yesterday with a new update, and you can see really not much has changed across the upper Midwest. We are still anywhere fluctuating between that moderate to severe drought in much of the Coulee region. And as a matter of fact, there are some isolated localized spots that are looking at this extreme drought status and even some portions into that severe drought status. But really what we can say is the majority of the Coulee region is still under that moderate drought. And I do have a slight chance of showers in the forecast today, but other than that, it's just looking up pretty dry day across much of the viewing area, and you can see some of those pop-up showers here moving in from the west. If they hold together, they could make their way into the Coulee region as we head into the south rim, but other than that, just mixed clouds and sun, and really the same can be said here too as we head into tonight with just a few passing clouds, and we'll keep that trend in the forecast for tomorrow. Now, there is a chance of seeing some scattered thunderstorms around here, but a lot of them look to be mainly towards the east of us and also back towards the west of us. The ones to the west of us, if they hold together, could move their way into the area by Saturday evening and into Saturday night. And then by Sunday morning, we're in the clear again, mostly clear skies and really just a mix of clouds and sunshine can be said as we take you into the rest of the day on a Sunday. So a check now on your 8-day forecast showing that we will be looking at highs into the low 80s for tomorrow once again with a chance of a few storms. Monday, isolated thunderstorms possible, otherwise mixed clouds and sun for much of next week, and those temperatures turning very hot, highs in the low 90s Tuesday through Friday. Stay with us though, we're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look at what happened on this day in history for July 21st, excuse me. We'll be right back. I'm finally making my Sports Blitz here on News 8. So with that said, welcome to the Sports Blitz, everyone. Now, we're going to start off with the Brewers, I believe, who have their game here coming up. And I believe, do we have that prompter, by the way? Here we go. The Brewers got back in the win column on Wednesday thanks to a couple of RBI doubles late in the game from Willie Contreras. Milwaukee entered play yesterday with a 2.5 game lead over Cincinnati in the NL Central. And the crew was looking for the series win in Philly. Rubber game for the Brewers and Phillies, and Christian Yelich blowing this one open in the third. 2 on for Yelich, and he gets all of this one. A 3-run shot makes it 3-0 Milwaukee. Then in the 7th, Contreras stays hot. 2 on for him, and he lines a base hit into the left field. 1 run comes in to score on the RBI single. That's RBIs now for Contreras in the last 2 games. And that was more than enough for Corbin Burnes. He's been on a mission since the All-Star break. Another dominant performance from Burnesy. 8 innings, 10 Ks, just 2 hits allowed. Check out these numbers for Burnes. Since the break, 14 innings pitched, 0 runs allowed, 23 strikeouts in the last 2 starts. Brewers get their league-leading 11th shutout of the year, 4-0, the final from Philly. Twins looking to make it 3 out of 4 over Seattle. Pablo Lopez in a jam in the first, down a run, bases loaded, but he gets back-to-back strikeouts to limit the damage to just 1 run. But in the same fourth, same score until the Mariners strike again. Teoscar Hernandez at the dish, and he cracks this one to straightaway center. It just clears the wall for a solo shot. Mariners double their lead. It's 2-0. Same score now in the 8th. 1 on for Mike Ford, and forget about this one. This ball is gone. A 2-run blast for Ford makes it 4-0 Seattle. Twins settle for the split as they fall into the series finale, 5-0. Minnesota's back home tonight to take on the White Sox. On the gridiron, the Packers letting their rookie wide receiver sweat a little bit, but on Thursday, Green Bay making it official with their 2nd-round pick from this year's draft. Jaden Reed signing his rookie deal with the Packers. It's a 4-year contract worth just over $7 million with a $2.2 million signing bonus. Well, that'll do it for the Sports Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Emergency medical services we rely on in a crisis are having a trouble of their own. In Minnesota, data shows that in 2021, nearly 3,000 more providers left the EMS field than entered it. But as Caroline Cummings reports, lawmakers are looking at solutions to plug the gaps.
There are an average of 700,000 calls for an ambulance in Minnesota each year, but now providers are calling for help too. They need more workers.
So we have more demand on our time, and we have fewer people filling the open spots that we have.
Susan Long, vice president of Allina Health EMS, says providers are playing catch up to fill the jobs, an issue impacting not just Minnesota, but the nation. And it can affect how soon someone in an ambulance arrives.
There are times where we have to delay other non-life-threatening calls and get to those second in line because we don't have enough people and because our demand is high.
The legislature is trying to solve those workforce woes. A new paramedic scholarship program will provide 600 of them at $5,000 apiece to boost the EMS ranks.
It's not enough to fill all of our challenges that are out there, but it certainly will help all of our services have a better pool of individuals to choose from.
Workforce it's the heart of the issue. It's a money and people issue.
Mark Jones, the executive director of the Minnesota Rural Health Association, sees those same issues in greater Minnesota. He says the paramedic scholarships will remove some barriers to entry.
Loan repayment is fantastic, but paramedic scholarships on the front side is more of a recruitment tool for us.
EMTs have fewer skills than a paramedic, but are just as essential. And state data shows 65% of the EMTs leaving the profession are under 40. A separate program will fund more high school programs to train teens to do that job.
We do need to make sure that we're filling that pipeline and that we're actually planning for the turnover that we expect to happen.
Minnesota residents can apply for those scholarships beginning January 1st. They will be awarded starting fall of 2024. A Republican-authored bill has some bipartisan support from Milwaukee Democrats. It would exempt retirement incomes of under $100,000 for single filers and $150,000 for joint filers. Republicans did not put the exemption in its $3.5 billion tax cut proposal. It's back for debate after Republicans lowered the married income cap from $200,000 to $150,000, which the governor is likely to support. It's likely to get a public hearing in the fall. Wisconsin Democrat Tammy Baldwin is introducing a bill that would increase transparency in foreign investment in farmland. The Farmland Security Act of 2023 would require foreign companies to disclose all agricultural land purchases with the USDA. The legislation, which is co-authored by Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, would also strengthen penalties for foreign entities that fail to report holdings. 3% of farmland nationwide is held by foreign companies. The top two members of Milwaukee's Independent Fire and Police Commission have announced they will step down from the Oversight Board. Chair Edward Fullone and Vice Chair Amanda Avalos made the announcement to protest new restrictions that came from Act 12, more commonly known as the Shared Revenue Bill. Under the new restrictions, the Independent Commission can no longer set department policy. Before his final meeting, Chair Edward Fullone explained why he felt the board was becoming a political pawn.
These issues are too important to the everyday life of Milwaukeeans for them to be turned into political footballs.
During last night's meeting, elections were held for the chair and vice chair position. Miriam Horowitz will serve as the new chair and Dana World Patterson will serve as the new vice chair. The commission also canceled 2 meetings that were scheduled for next week. And the summer is really sizzling in many parts of the U.S. with temperatures soaring to record levels. Doctors are warning that the dangers of hot weather are real and should be taken seriously. Jared Hill has more on how to stay safe.
In Arizona, it's been so hot, doctors say surfaces like playground equipment can be as hot as a frying pan and can cause severe burns.
It's just every single day we get 1 or 2 patients that have some sort of degree of contact burns from either running into hot asphalt or touching something very hot. Temperatures between 140 and 160, which would be just a couple of seconds, will cause deep injuries to a small hand.
If you're planning to spend any amount of time outdoors in this extreme heat, hydration needs to start before you leave the house, according to Dr. Joe Lally with the Cleveland Clinic.
Even if you don't necessarily plan on doing a lot of activity outside, it's important to kind of be aware of what you're going into. So making sure that you're hydrating throughout the course of the day so that your body would have the ability to adapt, making sure that we're drinking water, make sure that we're drinking electrolyte drinks to replace what we're losing in our sweat.
Look out for the earliest signs of dehydration, like dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, and headaches. The most dangerous type of heat-related illness is heat stroke. If a person doesn't get emergency treatment right away, this can be deadly.
Their temperature will start to elevate, and they don't have the ability to lower their temperature. They often become confused, disoriented, they develop rapid heart rates, and they can drop their blood pressure as well.
Young children and the elderly are at the greatest risk for heat-related illness, according to the CDC. So they need to take extra care to stay hydrated and cool.
Certain medications can also make a person more prone to heat-related illnesses and dehydration. They include blood pressure medications and water pills. And now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute. Derek, we're also getting some pretty intense heat later in the week.
Yeah, next week we're talking about high temperatures well into the 90s, Dua. So, if you're going to be outside, make sure to drink plenty of fluids, apply that sunscreen, you name it. The rest of this week, I think we're in the clear as far as the heat goes, but it's definitely going to be cranking here as we head into next week. We'll get to that in a second. Mostly clear on your morning commute here so far for the sky coverage. Current temperature readings are in the 50s. We got 58 in Eau Claire, same in La Crosse. Temperatures in Sparta are currently at 46, Roque was at 56, and Winona is currently at 57 degrees. The forecast overall today, 83, partly cloudy, and overall pretty seasonable. North-northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we head into tonight, temperatures drop to about 61. Just a few clouds. Isolated thunderstorms are possible, but I think for the most part, we should be okay, fairly dry. Southwest winds at 5 to 10. So overall, your mowing conditions, 64 degrees this morning. By noon, 79 degrees with lots of sun. 5 o'clock, I am thinking mostly sunny. Temperatures very comfortable there at 82 degrees. So if you haven't had a chance to mow the lawn this week, this day is a picture-perfect day to go ahead and do so. So get to it if you can. But I'll have a final check that is on your full weather forecast coming up after the break. We'll also have your buzz report here too to follow that. Starbucks and a popular K-pop band have announced a new drink on the coffee chain's menu. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Just a few clouds here this morning from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, but overall we're off to a gorgeous and overall a quiet start here this morning with temperatures at 58 degrees. Our winds coming from the north-northwest, very light at 3 miles an hour. Meanwhile, if you're in Eau Claire, you're currently at 58 degrees this morning checking in. Southwest wind speeds very light at 3 miles an hour. Current temperatures stand into the 50s across most locations. Of course, Sparta, Black River Falls, and east into the Volkfield, the colder exceptions this morning into the mid to upper 40s. We currently have 55 degrees to the west in Winona. Overall, a check on your day planner calls for lots of sunshine to start this morning, 61 degrees, 79 and sunny by noon today, and a few scattered showers are possible here at 4 o'clock. Temperatures at 82, a few clouds, 76 degrees as we take you into early this evening. Overall, a picture-perfect day to do any type of outdoor activities out there. Don't worry about those slim chances of rain. They are very, very minimal here for today. High temperatures mainly into the low 80s this afternoon as well. Overall, so far, the latest 6 hours or so, we have noticed that things here have been pretty dry here across much of the area. Just a few clouds here and there. Now, we definitely need the rain. In fact, here is the latest drought monitor index here that just came in from yesterday that I want to share with you. And you can see much of the upper Midwestern United States still very dry, and that includes here in the Coulee region. As a matter of fact, we're anywhere between a moderate to severe drought condition across much of the viewing area. And you can see a lot of this does encompass that moderate drought status, with some localized spots such as our southeastern and southern zones, anywhere from that severe to extreme drought condition. Now, I do have some slight rain chances in the forecast today, but again, they're very, very minimal. You may see some pop-up showers here as we head into this afternoon, but that's really about it. Otherwise, just expect a mix of clouds and sun through today. And then by tonight, any of those shower chances will quickly diminish. Now, as we take you into early tomorrow morning, we're off to a nice start, mainly clear, very similar to what we had this morning. I am watching for scattered thunderstorms, though, tomorrow afternoon, but it looks like the models here are painting a lot of the activity well to the east of us, and then also another scattered shower and thunderstorm chance back towards the west of us. If the ones to the west hold together, they could make their way into the La Crosse area by tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. But again, even those chances are looking fairly low here as well. Taking you into the rest of the weekend on Sunday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies. I have to warn you, though, as we head into next week, things are turning very hot around here. High temperatures are going to warm up significantly into those low to mid 90s. So if you have any outdoor plans next week, make sure to drink plenty of fluids, take frequent breaks if you're going to be outside, and apply that sunscreen. You're definitely going to need it. Low temperatures in the 60s and low 70s.
In our morning buzz report, K-pop group Blackpink have announced they are teaming up with Starbucks on a new drink. The new drink will be called the Blackpink Strawberry Choco Cream Frappuccino, and will also will be the Blackpink themed drinkware and other accessories like tumblers and keychains. Starbucks says they are thrilled to partner with one of the biggest icons of this generation. The new drink will be sold in 4,500 stores throughout Asia starting next week. Former President Obama has dropped his list of summer songs and book recommendations. Obama's song playlist consists of oldies and new hits like Boy Genius's Not Strong Enough, California Love by Tupac, and Walk Like an Egyptian from the Bangles. The former president's reading list consists of thrillers like S.A. Crosby's All the Sinners Bleed and nonfiction titles like Matthew Desmond's Poverty by America. The full list of songs and books is on his official Twitter page. And the day we've all been waiting for, Barbie and Oppenheimer releases nationwide tonight. Barbie stars Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, and it's expected to earn more than $100 million in the U.S. this weekend. Oppenheimer stars Cillian Murphy as physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, and it's expected to bring in an estimated $50 million this weekend. Both movies had early screenings at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles yesterday, and some Barbenheimers planned on seeing both movies in style.
All right, so I know that you mentioned that you saw Oppenheimer, right, yesterday.
Yes.
So tell me, I mean, don't spoil it, right, but where would you rank it? As one of your favorite movies?
I think it is definitely one of Christopher Nolan's best movies by far.
Okay.
He is phenomenal in many things, but I think that this is definitely one of his top 3, top 2 movies that he's done. It was phenomenal, and I think it's so fascinating to see people go out to the theaters and see movies like this. You know, I think unfortunately in the age of streaming, we haven't really seen that happen. I could be wrong. There are still avid movie fans out there, but the extent to which I saw people seeing that movie, one that's definitely, you know, kind of not in that new superhero trend, is pretty fantastic to see.
All right, we'll go check it out. Seems like a lot of hype surrounded by those two movies.
Well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
We want to wish, happy 8 months to Lincoln. Lincoln loves to watch the deer and turkeys at his grandparents' house, and he loves to hug his dog. So how could you forget about it?
Yeah. Happy 8th birthday to Addie. Addie is full of energy and spice. She loves to dance, participate in gymnastics and dirt bikes, and she's got a fun little pose.
I know, she's got a little bit of a personality. Don't mess with me.
Alrighty.
Happy 80th birthday to Dick. Dick enjoys UTVing and other outdoor activities. Happy birthday.
And we've got a picture of Dick right there.
I like this picture.
Happy 88th birthday to Stephen. Stephen is a Stefan. Stefan is a hard worker.
I butcher names sometimes too.
Oh, well, I love his shirt. Keep calm, it's
I know,
haying
that is
season.
pretty neat.
Anyway, happy birthday to Stefan. Stefan is a hard-working farmer who is famous for his made-from-scratch sugar cookies.
Ooh, gotta try those. I love me some sugar cookies. Well, if you know a special someone that turns 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. In your Morning News Now, Wisconsin's governor was in Monroe County promoting state money geared towards flood control efforts. Governor Tony Evers visited Brickman's Landing in Sparta to promote the $4 million in the state budget that will help communities lessen the potential of flood damage. Some western Wisconsin communities saw record floodwaters this spring. The governor says while federal organizations like FEMA can sometimes provide help to communities hit by floods, it's a better strategy for the state and local level to have resources in place to deal with damages.
The idea that we're not going to have extreme weather is wrong. We are going to have extreme weather, and that extreme weather a lot of times will cause flooding, and so we have to be prepared as a state and a country.
Evers says it's another reminder of why the state budget devoted such a large increase to local government funding. He says local governments and stakeholders know best how to put resources towards their community needs. La Crosse's YWCA and Melanin Beauty Bar hosted an art show to raise money for back-to-school programs. Local artists displayed some of their creations to sell, and they donated pieces to be auctioned off for the YWCA's Get Fresh Back to Readiness back to school readiness. There was food and drinks available for everyone to enjoy while they got to check out a variety of local artists. If you would like to know more about upcoming YWCA events, we will have a link with more information on our website, news8000.com. Every year at the end of July, a group of flight enthusiasts head to Oshkosh for a get-together, but they're making a habit of stopping in La Crosse. A group of Beechcraft Bonanza pilots will be meeting at the La Crosse airport before making their way east to Oshkosh. One organizer says people from all over the country take part in the experience, and their takeoff plan this weekend is something special. 115 planes will take off, 3 at a time every 15 seconds.
We have the coolest arrival into Oshkosh there is. So everybody wants to do it. It's a bucket list thing. I want to do Bonanzas to Oshkosh.
Bonanzas to Oshkosh started in 1990, but the group started taking off from La Crosse in 2021. The Pump House Regional Arts Center is keeping a 20-year tradition going. The La Crosse Storytelling Festival kicks off today. This year's theme is Tales of the Creepy and Scary for more adult audiences. Stories and puppet shows will be geared for kids tomorrow morning. Then later in the day, it's back to older content. Organizers say they've made sure the art of storytelling stays modern and fresh each year.
When we first started, people would say, when I tell people I was a storyteller, they'd say, oh, you read to children. And now most people understand that it is an oral art.
Food, music, and raffles will also be available. We'll have a link with ticket and schedule info on our website, news8000.com. St. Patrick's Catholic Church is holding its 32nd annual rummage sale today and tomorrow. The sale begins at 7:30 a.m. There will be thousands of items for sale, including furniture, hardware, and toys. There will also be a quilt raffle, bake sale, and a food truck. All proceeds from the sale will go to the General Church Fund. For more information, you can go to St. Patrick's website. We'll post a link on news8000.com.
All right, so as you head out the door this morning, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s, clear skies. Temperatures then warming up into the upper 70s to low 80s this afternoon. Overall, a picture-perfect day with lots of sunshine. Slight chance of a shower or two is possible by this evening, but other than that, expect a pretty dry one. Here's a check now on your 8-day forecast. Chance of a few isolated to scattered thunderstorms for the day tomorrow, high of 83. Again, with that high of 83 on Sunday, but more sunshine there. Slight chance of storms on Monday. The rest of next week is turning hot and steamy. Highs into those low to even mid-90s there on some days. So break up that sunscreen, drink plenty of fluids, take those frequent breaks if you got to be outside. It's going to be pretty hot, dangerously hot at times too.
Yes, definitely. If you are feeling a little dizzy, go back inside.
Oh, absolutely.
Stay out of the sun. Not the time to do a lot of outside outdoor activities.
Yeah, it's best to go ahead and probably knock those out here today through the weekend before it gets too hot here next week, I think.
All right, that would definitely be one of the days to head to the movie theater, watch a double feature.
Oh, that's a good point, because it's nice and cool in those areas. You know, they freeze you out in there. Like, I have to bring a jacket.
Yes, absolutely. It's always so cold in there.
It's so cold, yeah.
So that would definitely be one of those days. Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now this morning. Don't forget to keep up with news of the day on news8000.com. And we'll have the latest updates on today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a wonderful Friday. We'll see you back here later today.